How loud are your mufflers? Yeah, you know, hot rods are gonna have a little bit of noise, right? But you want to keep it on the outside of the car. Soundproofing, Neuco. Okay, this is kind of brand number 2 down from the top in price. Quality, it's working really good so far. Very simple process, actually. There's 2 layers to it. This stuff, which is reflective, I don't know if that matters so much because sometimes it's the wrong way. On the back it's like black tar and it'll stick to whatever metal you put it on. And then this goes on top of that, and that's what is it, like 3/16 piece of foam rubber, sticky backed as well. So it can go on there, and then you've got double layers. So you got this one that stops vibration from coming through, and then this one that is like it eats sound, right? Simple tools, all you need is probably a Sharpie, marker. This you need for putting the stuff on. You've got to kind of push it in real hard. Now there's a roller that you can get, they sell with it. I didn't bother, I just use this piece of hard plastic. It's a tool for removing door panels or something. And then a pair of scissors, that's important, got to cut it. And then a measuring tape, simple as that. Sometimes you'll need maybe a knife, you know. So yeah, box of this, a box of that. Now I've probably used about 3 boxes in this car already, and I've got, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to buy a little bit more. I've got 1 more box in the house, but I've got to do underneath the trunk, underneath the hood yet, inside the front fenders, inside the doors, and under the dash. We're gonna do under the dash today, because I'm getting ready to put this new dash that I built into the car. The idea is that we want to make sure all of the sound deadening is in there first, and do a really good job on that, particularly the firewall and the floor down, you know, underneath your feet. Now this Cadillac, the 06 Cadillac, that's the base of this car, has just a few patches, you know, stuck here and there. I think maybe on the bigger panels just to stop vibration. But I am going to do the entire floor. Just like I've done the entire ceiling, roof, and the inside of the back fenders are all done and so on. Because I want it to be really, really quiet. On a long trip, this is going to be a highway cruiser. This is our highway cruiser car. And it'll be efficient, reliable, and comfortable with all full heat, air conditioning, defrost, heated seats, and all that kind of stuff, cruise and everything that comes in a Cadillac, right? And that's why I want to have it really quiet in there so that it's comfortable. Some days, you know, like from here to where we're in Calgary, if we go to Ottawa, you're probably looking at like 36 hours driving. And we've done it in that Cadillac. So yeah, it's a very comfortable way to do it. So let me show you the result of having the sound deadening in here. Okay, so I haven't done the doors of this car yet, but I have done all the back all up to here and the roof. Say, when you knock on here, it's a nice thud, right? Thud, thud. Then you get to the door where it hasn't been done yet, and you get a... It's so worth it. So let's get started on the firewall. You can see the upper part here has already been covered, been sound deadened. I haven't put the foam on it yet, and I won't put foam on all of it, but I will put foam on some of it that are like big areas that can really eat the sound. So we kind of cover this. This is the firewall. Straight to the other side is the engine. The Cadillac stuff still has a lot of rubber down here. So we're going to try and fill a few little patches wherever we can, and then we'll cover that completely, overlap up onto here a bit. It's just good to overlap a bit. The more you get in there and the tighter everything is, yep, the more sound you're going to get rid of. It's a good idea to do the biggest areas first, and then, you know, cut it out of the big area. This is folded over like what? Well, 2 times now, but I think normally it's folded over 3 times. So it's a pretty big area. And then if you'll cut out what you need for a big area first, and then use the scraps to fill in like all of the little corners and edges, you'll save material that way. You don't really need a ruler much because it's got this pattern on it. So when you're cutting it, as long as, if this side's square, or it's a new edge, then this side here, you just follow these little diamonds and you'll get a perfectly parallel piece. So how long does it take to put the sound deadening in? A long time. Takes a lot of hours. It's finicky, but particularly in this car, because all of the inside of all of the curves and everything, like the inside of the fenders, there's actually 2 layers in there because there's 2 layers of metal, and you want to cover all of that metal. I did this all under the influence of COVID, and that was probably a good time to do it because you just keep putting one hand in front of the other and get her done. Your brain isn't working really good, everything's in a fog, but it's pretty simple because you just cut it to fit and put it in and press it in really good with this against the steel that you're covering. And then eventually, you get done. So I've done all over on the tailpiece, a lot of hours into it. And so it's not going to be that bad from here on in. It's going to take me probably a couple hours to do in the firewall. And that's kind of the part we'll focus on, just to show you how to do it. Well, this is how I did it, how I'm doing it. Highly recommended. But also during the COVID shutdown, I did the inside of my 42 Chev panel truck with both layers, with this layer and then this layer. And you can actually carry on a conversation in there now, whereas before it was just so noisy. Wind noise, road noise, and all that kind of stuff. It took quite a while too, and it took a number of boxes, but it's really worth it. It does add some weight, okay? There's some weight to it, especially this one here. It's fairly heavy. I don't know, that's probably 30 pounds just for that one box. Like any engineering you're doing for acoustics, right? Whether it's in a recording studio or in your car, especially if you're going to listen to music in there, it's really worth taking your time, getting a really good job, using good material, and you're happy with it because you got to invest a lot of hours in it. And one more thing, on a job like this, there's a balance between fast and thorough. And some guys have a terrible sense of balance when it comes to fast and thorough. Some guys, they just get everything done in a big hurry and it's a mess and you're gonna have to go back and fix stuff. Other guys are so meticulous that nothing ever moves ahead. They worry too much about something being not perfect or being not right. And it comes with experience, right? I mean, back in the day, I was the perfectionist, man. If it wasn't perfect, it wasn't happening. But I got that beat out of me because nothing ever happens. But then the other thing is, I've had friends, and especially trying to work with guys, right, that are like, they're so fast, they just get her done. That's good enough, that's good enough. And it's not good enough, because this car is going to be our highway cruiser, and I plan on using it for the rest of my life. And, well, I could say that because I'm in my 70s already, right? So I want to have a chance for a whole lot more cars after this, especially because they're trying to take away our gasoline engines. Or maybe we'll have to go back to buying gasoline at the drugstore, like when the first cars came out back in the late 1800s. But I've found my own balance between fast and thorough. And you need to find that so that you can be happy with the job that you're doing. And you will get done without taking too much time. and it'll be done well so that it'll actually work and you don't have to go back and redo things over again. So yeah, here's to you finding your balance between fast and thorough, getting your projects done and getting them done in a good way. Or maybe another way of saying it is the balance between show car and something you can actually use and drive. I'll never do a show car. I loved looking at them, right? But I'd hate to show them because I would just never be satisfied with anything less than first place. And not everybody can have first place. Or we could call it a balance between investment and usefulness. If you're just going to spend a whole lot of money, well, just go buy something that's already finished. The idea with building hot rods in the first place is that you can make something out of nothing or something good out of something bad. And I love doing that. To me, that's the great challenge, is that, I could take this old car nobody wanted because the floors and the bottom part of the car was totally rusted out, and put it on the old Cadillac because they're a dime a dozen now. Nobody wants them. They're getting old, and people are afraid of the electronics going bad or whatever. So I wish I had a whole farm yard full of old cars, projects, right? Who doesn't? No, I've probably got enough, actually. But let's think about that, don't invest so much money that it's not worth it anymore. And when I'm done here, I'm going to have a nice highway cruiser that's going to look really cool, really classy, not show car classy, but really tear down the highway classy. It'll be a head turner, and it won't have cost me much. It won't have cost me near as much as buying like a new SUV or something like that. Otherwise, I don't see the point.
If you're a boy like me, you need to subscribe. Make sure to subscribe to Car Cobbler. It's my grandpa's channel, Car Cobbler channel.